Hello. And I forgot to wait. Hopefully we didn't get
Yay!
it's all good. We're live. We are live and we're together.
Together
Yay!
in person, in human form, with physical connection.
That's perfect for our topic today.
Isn't it though?
It is so perfect for our topic. Yes. But before we talk about our topic, we got to talk about the weekend and stuff. So, you know what I'm going to talk about because you read my newsletter. And if you read my newsletter and you hear me talk about this again, I'm sorry, but that's what I'm going to talk about. So we got the cold plunge in our backyard.
Oh, yeah.
Not my doing, but it's there. And so of course I'm like open to experiencing pretty much all the things, I might have some limitations that I say no, but pretty much anything the universe presents to me, I'm like, yeah, let's try it. Let's see what happens. So the first day, and so it takes some time for this thing to truly get cool. So this weekend when I was going in, it wasn't fully at its coolest state yet. So the first time, this was Sunday that I'm getting in, I like go in, but I'm basically squatting in the thing because I don't want to sit down on the bottom because I have like this fear, like I'm going to freeze up and I'm not going to be able to get myself out of there. And so I'm just like holding onto the edge, basically squatting. But the funny thing was that after I was like in there and like I'm breathing, at one point I'm like, I could stay in here forever. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But when 4 minutes were up, I was like, okay, it's good. It's time to get out. Mm-hmm. So then the next day, it had dropped a little bit cooler to like 47 or 48, something like that. And it was interesting that I could definitely feel the difference in just those few degrees of temperature. And this time, like I did lower myself more in, but I could not bring to let go of the sides. Like I kept my arms holding on. Yeah. But then there's perfectionist Julietta going, does this even count if I don't bring my arms in? Does this even count if I don't like go all the way in? Like, am I just like fooling myself? And Trent was good. He was like, whatever you believe is true. So it does count. That one though, like it was definitely different too. I also stayed in for 4 minutes, but like it started to hurt. Like I was ready to come out. I was like, okay. But he gets in there and he's like shivering. Like I don't shiver in there, but I'm just like, I breathe. And that's like the other lesson I learned. I can breathe my way through anything. Anything. So when in doubt, just breathe. You'll be okay. Oh, yeah. So if any of you out there are plunging also, like talk to me about it. Like, have you been doing it for a while? How many times? Like what do you notice? Because like people are asking me, like, did you notice anything? If anything, I would say like maybe a little less inflammation. And other than that, I don't know. But and then there's this controversy about should women, like it's supposedly not as good for women as it is for men. Right. So so anyway, so I'm doing it. Okay, we'll see. I'll keep it up for a while. Like what I noticed. But I'd love to hear from other people. Like if you are something too, like what do you notice? How long you've been doing it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I know it's like run rampant all over. I have never done it. It does make me a little.
You know it's at my house, so you're going to do it at some point.
Can we do it after Sweat Lodge? Can we heat up and then do it, or is that a bad thing to do?
I don't know. It seems like a little bit much. The other thing, I'm not sure we're gonna open it up with this one.
Oh, that's true.
Because
that's true. Too many
people. A lot of dirt.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot about that.
I have ideas, so I don't know.
I'll just have to make an appointment and come over and get it ready for me. All right.
We can go after this.
Too soon. Too soon.
She needs to prep. How was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was great. It was my birthday, so I did go jet skiing, so that was exciting. Thank you. So me, my mom, and my daughter took on the jet skis, and my mom did awesome. Shout out to mom. Now I won't tell the age, but she's 21 years older than me. And she got on that jet ski like no problem. She said it was harder getting down into the water where it was stationed, where we have a ladder that we had to go down. But
Mm.
anyway, she did great. She turned on the speed a little bit. So it was fun to see her have a good old time with the hair waving. So it was fun. And we had a nice little lunch afterwards. So and met lovely people and good
Awesome.
experience. We like to do experiences rather than give gifts.
That's my
And
thing.
I
There's too
I
much
do
stuff
too much
in the
stuff.
world. Too much stuff.
Yeah.
Like, stop giving gifts. Stop buying. Like,
Getting
special
rid of my
things,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, special things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the tchotchkes, the stuff, the
Yeah.
things, like, that's. I don't like to give a lot of gifts. Like, I'd rather, like, well, we're gonna take you out for dinner for your birthday.
Yay! Still in
Those
continuance.
kinds of things. Create memories, create
Great memories.
experiences.
Absolutely.
Or if I do give a gift, like, a lot of times I'd like it to be something that's consumable.
Mhm.
Like a candle you're gonna burn and then it's gonna be done.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
food you're gonna
Yes.
eat, it's gonna
Yeah.
be done. Like,
Very
but
good.
not stuff that's gonna continue to occupy space
Mhm.
on this planet, that's gonna
Mhm.
contribute to the
Mhm.
landfill all over this planet. So
Yeah.
that's my PSA. Like, let's calm
Spread
it
its
down
own
on the
love.
gift giving.
Yeah. I love it. And I love adventure. I love people. So kind. People I love. So I'm looking forward to dinner. It just keeps going. I love it.
Keep up the month.
Extension.
Keep
So
up the month.
yeah. So we
So our
ready?
topic today. So I can tell you already, with our minds and our where we've been diving in spiritually, this is going to go all over the place,
Yeah.
very far from where it actually started. But our topic today is, have we forgotten what it means to be human?
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you start, since it
Okay.
was your conversation that
Yeah.
prompted this topic for today.
Yes, it did. It did. I kind of wrote her a quick text one day last week, and it's because when I'm at work, I have the opportunity to work with the younger generation. I'm not saying it's generational, but maybe I am. Maybe I am. I don't. But my kids, if you're listening, I said, tune in because I want to hear from you because I teach the 20s and 30s, the adult education. And I'm noticing more and more, and this can be probably since COVID, I'm going to say that more and more I have teachable moments that include how to be human, literally. So I teach physical therapy, right? So we're physical. I have to actually teach human touch. I have to actually now teach how to look into one another's eyes, have a conversation, be that kind of little caregiving caretaker. And so much of what we do in the physical therapy world is human contact, right? So all the senses. You look at somebody, you communicate verbally, you put your hands on somebody, you have to feel the human body, and there should be attention to the person. There should be kind of a flow between the two people. So it's patient-centered care. And I realized how difficult some of the students are having things that we take for granted. And I know when we went to school for this, we did not have to be being taught how to be human. We looked naturally into each other's eyes. We did have a conversation. We listened actively. We weren't like tuning out and just waiting for the person to go, yeah, 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 yeah. And it's mind-boggling to me that some people will choose this profession and not have just the human touch. That's all I'm saying.
That's one thing that I was thinking. Like, I feel like people that are drawn to this profession would naturally be people.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Because this is about touching and healing people. So you would think.
Right.
I will say, a long, long time ago when I went to PT school, there was for sure one person in our class that back then I don't think that he had any labels put on him, but
Mm.
for sure he was neurodivergent,
Yeah,
a thousand
that's
percent.
exactly. Yep.
And it was interesting to me that he had chosen this profession, and um and I know from some things that came back to me after we had graduated, because he also stayed in the same town and worked, and um I'd heard some things about how things didn't go super well with clients, and I'm sure it was because of his
Divergence.
neurodivergency. We had some difficulties in class with him
Mhm.
as well because of this, and um, there's a piece of me that wishes that I was the person I am today back then, because I probably would have interacted with him differently.
Mhm.
Um, but I was in my own mess of just trying to.
Trying to get through
PT
it.
school is hard.
It's not
It's
easy.
really hard to
Yeah,
get in, and it's
that's
really hard
right.
to get through.
Yeah,
And so each of us was like in
yeah,
our own
yeah.
stuff at that. Am I gonna school? Am I gonna graduate from PT school? Am I gonna pass the board exams?
Mhm.
Like, it's hard.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Really,
It really isn't.
it's no joke.
It isn't.
So if you know a PT, you know that it's hard.
Yeah. And it's
Hi, me.
Ivy. She's saying same physical space today. Yay! It is more powerful when we're together. Thank you. It is.
And but in general, I do
Uh-huh.
think that people normally choosing this career
Hmm.
would
Hmm.
um be
Have
people
those
kind of
skills.
people.
Yeah. And they so often are not.
But then I'm gonna say stuff I shouldn't be saying on video, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because you mentioned that you noticed the shift after COVID.
Hmm.
And so, A, I think a lot of people became very digital, very
Yes. Yes.
disconnected,
Yes.
separated.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie though, there's a little piece in my brain that's going, are these people vaccinated? Did the vaccines create this?
Oh,
I don't
no, no,
know.
I know. We'll go
I
there. I just, well, because I mean, I did feel this way because of the shutdown that happened in COVID, and we had to be forced onto our computers. We were forced more so than anything into social media, Zoom calls, texting, FaceTime. And I think the people that in the older population that was used to the communication in a human form were were more apt to FaceTime than the kids that are not used to being in communion with people physically. They are still social media frenzied and getting all the likes or the dislikes and all the technical communication that they were now being prompted to do. I think they were more comfortable in it. And so what I'm seeing as a result of, maybe they were in high school at the time, maybe they were teenagers at the time, they didn't get all the interaction that they may have, they could have had practice at. And what's happening is these young adults coming into this population who want to do this particular field, um, they don't have the skill set to really be human. And that is a huge undertaking, not only trying to create that personal touch, which is a skill set that you should come in with. Now I have to teach that plus the curriculum, which is totally been a new, I would say, a pioneering effort on mine and my coworkers, table here. And we keep sharing things and sharing ideas. And yes, I want to say to you, the person I am today, different from 1986 when I graduated high school, 1991 when I graduated college. And we're 40, our 40th is this year. And, 40, 50 years ago, so different. But we've grown to know, and we've worked with the neurodivergent population. We worked with traumatic brain injury, stroke population. I mean, we understand the nervous system. So when I look at somebody that is a potential patient that I used to work with, and now they're coming to learn the profession and wanting to be that therapist, I go, okay, well, how far can I take them in this? So, and I think that's what's happening. It's not only okay, we have this neurodivergent population, and I always think of the Indigo Children. 30 years ago, that book was written. Of course, there's some of that, but I have that in my mind that we can be evolving, and we have more and more of this coming our way. And it not only could be COVID, but it's the generational difference that in our
And
makeup.
well, and, because you
I'm
brought
going,
that up, like,
yeah,
you know,
I'm going there now.
the Indigo Children in this, like, communication is more telepathic.
Telepathic,
Like, it's not,
exactly.
and I talk about this all the time. Like, sometimes I lose my shit over it, that, like, language is so limiting. Like, so often the stuff I want to communicate, like, there's not really words for it. And so I'm trying to explain something to somebody, and I'm like, this isn't exactly what I mean, but this is the closest that I can get to that. And I
Yeah.
think some of these, probably a lot of kids that are quote unquote indigo or crystal, or, like all the different things that come through now, um, because their tendency is towards telepathy. Um, and then I'd be curious, like, if any of these kids that you're experiencing are, might they have different ways
Okay.
of creating that connection that we need to create with our patients? I'm also curious, like, what other professions, where else are other people seeing this come through professionally that's
Mhm.
creating some struggles?
Dissonance. Yeah. There's just, I think of the word dissonance, and um, not being connected, in a way that we know it takes to kind of get that profession to the competence that we need it to be. Because when I think, if I need to go into a healthcare system for myself, how do I want that doctor, that nurse, that physical therapist? I want them to be personable and attentive and caring and kind and looking into my eyes, and having the physical sensation to say, I feel what's going on with you. Let me help you.
And it's
I
interesting
do.
because now that you're talking about that, it's also making me think, I've not been to a Western medical doctor
Mm,
in, I forget how many years now. Since
yes, right.
30,
So,
I was 35 the last time I went to a
wow.
Western medical practitioner. And part of that experience may also be why I have never returned to a Western medical practitioner. But a lot of my clients do go to the doctor.
Mhm.
And the stories that I hear, like even going to the doctor's
Yep.
office is becoming
Yes.
less and less and less
Yes.
human. So
Yes.
the stories they tell just like blow my mind that
Mhm.
this is even happening.
Mhm.
And so of course you're seeing it in
Mhm.
your realm because
Mhm.
it is everywhere.
Mhm.
And I
I
have a lot
know.
to
I
say.
know. I have a lot to say too. And it's my sister-in-law just said it last night. We were having dinner. I'm shopping out to my sister. She went to a doctor's office the other day, and the receptionist, or the person that has to take the urinalysis and all that, or tells people where to go, she was yelling out across the room, not, she's like screaming her name. She didn't even know she was talking to her, and she's telling her to put where her urine goes and yada yada, where the bathroom, and she's like, because there wasn't any talking. There wasn't any. There wasn't, it was just yelling and pointing and no contact eye or anything. So I think that, I don't know why this is, but why are people going into the healthcare field knowing what it's meant to do, but not caring for people? And to your point, I am still in that Western medicine world, because I do hold insurance, and I actually I'm kind of forced to go to do a PCP visit in order to hold my insurance. So now they're doing that, right? They want to make sure that you're on task. But when I go, it's probably, I don't know, 75% of the people, they should not be doing what they're doing. And I feel that way. And so it's frustrating to me, but I have to go in there with a good attitude and better expectations so that the outcome is a little bit better. And I know I co-create some of it, right? So I do. I try. But if I had an ache and pain, especially musculoskeletal, that I couldn't fix myself, I'd be coming to Julietta. Absolutely, 100%. And it's sad to say now we're on this kick because, yeah, Western medicine is not doing what the best, I should say, it could for our community and our country, right? Or the world, right? So then we're left to, okay, we're going to have cash pay practitioners, forget the insurance. I mean, we can go on and on about this, and we're totally off topic now. We're veering off topic. But I think that it's going to make a full circle because what's happening is we're going to go away from that sort of care and go directly towards the people we know make a difference to us personally with that extra humanness, that care, and have integrity about what they do, similarly to you, my dear. So, yeah,
yeah,
I think that's where we're going.
I do see this conversations like happening elsewhere out there in the world that people are witnessing that disconnect, that lack of humanity, and people are really like they've had enough of it. And so you're not the only one that's feeling that in the state. But luckily I live a very sheltered world where the people that come to me are people who are connected, and I have events where people are connected, and so I don't have to experience that disconnect much in my world. And
thanks.
I created that.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
Yes, you did. Very intentionally, because I know I don't do well in that 3D environment out there. And since we're going this way, I think that opens up to our space of crazy talk. Because when we ask the question about being human, for many, 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 many years, I have felt not human. And so, like I definitely have the capacity to love and connect. So not in that capacity that we're talking about, but just feeling like Earth is not my home. And I said the experience that like really, really brought it home for me was sitting in the theater watching the movie Avatar when it first came out.
I love that.
And I was just sitting there bawling my eyes out, going, that, like, where I'm from is more like that. Like the interaction between the people and the trees and the animals. And I'm like how they connected. And, I was like, when they connect their braid with the banshee. And I was like, that connection, like that's what I feel when I'm touching people and working on them. And yeah, it just like it was so it just felt so homesick, seeing that. And like when I see how people are behaving on this planet, like it gets hard to be here. But then also knowing that there are very likely, like I know I was born as a human on this planet. I chose to come to Earth to do these things that I'm doing. But there's also this strong suspicion that there are people here that weren't born as humans on this planet and are masquerading as humans. Have you met any of those? And some of them are great and they're here for good reason. And I think some of them are here maybe not for such good reasons. Conspiracy theory alert. But the things that I have experienced, they fall in the category. I was watching a video today of someone just talking about like when you're having this spiritual awakening, you spend a lot of time going, am I crazy? Am I schizophrenic? Should I be like locked up in the psych ward? Like, because some of it does seem really crazy.
Mhm.
And but then I ask people like, do you think I'm crazy? And people are like, no, you're like one of the most grounded people I know. And so I have faith that I'm not crazy in the you're disturbed, you need to be locked up way. Because I think you can be crazy good too.
Yeah.
Um, but I know I've spoken with many other people who feel the same thing
Yeah.
that that they are not human. Some people like to use the term starseed,
Oh, yes.
and
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
oh, what are
Yeah. Woo, you opened up a big old topic here. Yep. Ripped off the can. It's not even a can. It's like it's a tremendous container I can't even think of right now, but it's super big. And we do have these conversations. They may be crazy to some people, but we do have these crazy conversations. And I feel similar to you, and this is why we kind of cohabitate here with each other and do these community things and pick starseed cards out of an oracle deck or something like that, is because there's so many things to the human process that I see other people doing that I don't feel part of. As in, we talked about this, but I felt the same way about Avatar. Just tears and just feeling like there's home. It was gratifying to me. I was like, there's some other people that really feel like this because I know who made this, right? Shout out to James Cameron. I'm like, these blue people, these imagine it, your imagination, it goes places, it takes you places. But when we sit and with each other and throw out these ideas that we have sourced from consciousness, we feel like, wow, we're more connected and we have the same thoughts, the same crazy thoughts if you want, but the imagination and the creation that we have and to be collective about it is phenomenal. And I feel that when we have our tribe, when we find our tribe and we have these alike aha moments, it's like, oh, wow, I don't feel so non human anymore. I feel like, all right, there are other embodied. Now I know that I'm a spirit having an experience of the human, right? So I truly, truly believe that, been believe in that for a long time, right? Spiritual experience here as a human. I chose to come here. The way I chose to come here and the human form I chose to take, you know, is very much alike some of what Juliet is saying and the other community members that are here. So kind of trying to find the same or people that are like you is a big deal because it makes you feel like you're not crazy. Right? So if we're kind of feeling and we feel the same. So we've been working with energy for a long time. And so when you say it's kind of like Avatar feeling the banshee or the tree, the Ewok, we feel things that some people don't. That's true.
100%.
That's true. And it's sometimes very hard, like you're saying, to explain these things. And I do believe that we are evolving into a more telepathic race, and it's coming. It's already here. We have telepathic tape podcasts, and I have even asked my daughter, about some things because she actually works with children who are nonverbal. That's her population, and she had some accounts of these children being telepathic with her and her coworkers. And so she's kind of on the same page because when you live it, it's hard not to believe,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
1,000%.
And I feel when we said we were coming here to do this human thing, we're looking for each other. We are, we're here for the evolutionary process. We're here to take humanity up this way. That's what we do in this community, wouldn't you say?
Raising the vibration.
We're raising the vibration
Mm-hmm.
because we really don't like
It's
this
for self-preservation.
3D stuff that's going on. The competition, the nonsense, the arguing, the disconnect, and this is what we're talking about. It's the disconnect. It's so confusing to us sometimes because, how we relate to each other, we're wanting to be human embodied, right? And we are those creatures who are trying to connect because we forgot that we were once connected. to begin with. We came down to this earth school that is so freaking difficult because we decided to be individuals, individuated individuals. What a pain in the rear. We just complicated the shit out of everything. And now we're trying to remember how we are all one and actually connected. So we came to do a difficult task. Sometimes I wonder why.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the
Like,
other lives maybe
I
could
know
be
I
a little
signed
bit
up for this,
easier.
but sometimes can I
Yeah.
unsign up for it?
I don't know,
Can I quit?
Bodhisattva, can you? I don't know. I know. We joke around
You
about
did
that.
see your daughter chimed in.
What did my
They are magic.
They are magic. Yes, they are. You talking about your babies? My baby's talking about their babies, or
I'm sure she's talking about her babies, but I'm going to pretend she's talking about
us.
us because we are.
We're magic.
So
Yeah.
we still have time, and you know what I want to talk about.
Yeah, go for it.
So some months ago, and I can't even believe that was like the first time I had the thought, like now that I look out into the world and see how much it is out there. But I was sitting and I just like it hit me that some of the bodies that we see out there aren't actually playing the game. So, we are fully participating in this game of life. We are 100% in, we are here doing the work, trying to heal, trying to raise our vibration, trying to help others do the same, trying to create a better humanity here. We're in it. But then I had this realization that I said they're like extras in a movie. Like they don't have any speaking role. They're really not that different than the other props. They're just part of the set of the movie. And I was like, wow. So I wonder, of the 8 billion people on the planet, like how many are actually playing the game and how many are just extras. So I had that thought. I didn't speak it out loud. It was just the thought inside my head. And then, Gianna said, you too, LOL.
Love you, G. Thank you.
And so, but then like literally the next day or two, like this thing pops up in my feed talking about NPCs. And I'm sure some people out there know instantly what I'm talking about. As old folks, we're like, what's an NPC? So if you're old like me, an NPC is from the video gaming world, non-player character.
Yeah.
So it's someone that's in the game, but they're not playing the game. And I was like, wow, this is a thing. And then, I watched the Gaia TV.
Yeah.
And like the next week, there's an episode with Regina, and I forget who her guest was, but they're talking about NPCs. I'm like, if Regina Meredith is talking about NPCs, like this is a thing. And then I come to find out, like Dolores Cannon, like if you don't know who she is, look her up. Amazing. She's not of this world anymore. But she was talking about them, like she didn't call them NPCs back then. I forget what she called them. But back like in the 70s, she was talking about it. There's probably people that knew this since the beginning of time. I just, in my slowness, just had this realization now. But now, like, NPC is all over my feed, and like so many different views on what exactly this is, how it shows up. This morning I was actually journaling about it because it was just in me that I think there are NPCs, like people that are human, but they're just following the program. There's like there's no originality there. There's no them trying to better anything. It was just they were plopped down in a life and they're like just living that life. They're doing what they're supposed to do, putting their head down, like there's nothing in it. And then, but I also believe there's this other layer of what I call the extras that are like not that different than the chair. Um, they're just out there in the world to make it look like there's more people in the world when there's not. And so a conversation I was watching on YouTube, yesterday, that's why I was journaling about it today, was talking about like you can be an NPC and then decide that you actually want to play the game and
Mm,
become a player. You could also be a player and decide you want to be an NPC.
mhm.
And sometimes I'm like,
I don't think I could go backwards.
I don't know that I can go backwards, but sometimes I feel like I'm taking a break.
Yes, yes,
Like
yes,
I need a
yes.
break. Like just don't
Yeah,
bug me. Nobody talk to me.
right.
Like just let me be grumpy for a few days, and I'll work my way out of it. But so then I was like, okay, how does this fit in my terminology? So what I came up with today,
Okay.
there are the magical people, as Sienna noted, we are magical.
Thank
Sienna,
you.
you're magical too.
You're magical too.
Um, and the people in my community are magical, and there's people outside of my community that are also magical. So, but there's the magical people, the people that are trying to make a difference, that are trying to raise the vibration, they're trying to heal, they're doing all the things to make this world a better place. Then there are what I call, thank you, Harry Potter, the muggles.
Oh, yes.
The non-magical people. A muggle is kind of like what some people are calling an NPC.
Okay.
They're just going through life,
Yeah.
doing the things. There's no spark in there that there might be more to life than
Yeah.
just this 3D physical thing.
Yeah.
There's those people. And then the other ones, I'm just going to keep calling them the extras because they really are just like, I'm not even sure their bodies contain a soul. Like, I think they may
Mm.
just be a physical piece of a physical meat sack. And
Interesting.
they're just occupying space, like making us think that there's 8 billion people, because that creates scarcity. That holds us into the
Sure.
scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
There's 8 billion people on this planet. There's not
Mhm.
enough for everybody.
Mhm.
And so that creates that competition that you were talking about that we don't like. Whereas if we knew actually, because like the extras, I don't think they eat. I don't think they need to eat. I mean, maybe you might see one sitting in a restaurant eating so that you think that um, yeah, and maybe I'm crazy, but
It's fun.
I,
It's
and
something
it's
to
something
think about.
I'm still like feeling my way through it, but there's
Yeah.
there is definitely a difference between the people that are conscious, they're awake,
Yes.
they know there's something more,
Right.
and they're working towards that.
Right.
And then there's the people who aren't.
Yes. Definitely agree about that. There are people that are conscious and there are people that are not. And, and we're here trying to figure out, and we know we're kind of collecting them along the way, who are the people that we can create more and more community with and spark their interest to know that they are not just human, because that's what we're about, right? So, and and I and I know when I meet some people that, okay, there's no talking about this to them. We'll just keep it in the 3D. Hey, what'd you have for lunch? What'd you have? And hey, what do you do for a living? And okay. And right, exactly. And it is, it's so boring because it is hard. It's hard
It's
to kind of
hard.
force our way back down into this little box and do the small talk 100%. And it's not something I want to do anymore, which is it's interesting because I think now I've kind of meandered my way through relationships that are meaningful, purposeful, growthful, nurturing, nourishing, whatever you want to say. And that's what I was saying. I can't go backwards. And you to your point, I do take a break sometimes. I do. And it's true. It's like, okay, I got to stop thinking about all this stuff. I just need a rest. And I
Waking
just
up is
want to
not for the weak.
know, and I just want to play with my niece. What I got to do, I got to last night, or I just want to go jet skiing or whatever. I just want to do the human things and just, relish in that for a little bit. But it kind of gives you a restful break to kind of miss that expansion that we've created. We could always tap into it and go back to it, but sometimes we do need a break. And I like the contrast that we're able to, achieve. And I mean, we are here trying to figure out all this yin yang, black, white, yes, no, all the polar opposites. We get to live, and then try to dissipate that. So that's the fun stuff that we do because we want it to be both, as you like to say. We want everything at all times and to exist and have the possibility because it's more fun. It's more enrichment. It's more like, okay, look at all this meaning and purpose I get to share with people. It just it's kind of like looking at a movie, right, in black and white from the 40s, 30s, whatever, and then looking at Avatar, right? I just thought of that. It's like, there's a grayscale over some, some communications, and then there's like a wow, look at this light in here because the energy is just so different. So we get to experience that. We get to go back and forth with it, and and I think that just gives us such gratefulness about it because I know I'm grateful. Like when we show up here and we get to do chakra balancing tonight, and I'm so excited about it because I haven't had it in a while, so I miss it, and I'm looking forward to it. And I live the contrast all day with my non-humans that I went to work out with. But and I think that's what we're here to learn and explore with. And I like the fact that you brought out the NPCs can actually jump in and out. So maybe we will flip a switch on some of the people.
The possibility is there. Yes, I think so.
I like that. I mean, that makes me happy.
Yeah. And it's free will, and so we also have to release our expectations.
Yeah, for sure.
There is the theory that we only have to shift 2% of the population to create heaven on earth. And so, but that comes into my question of, if some of the 8 billion are only extras, like their numbers don't count. So because when you go 2% of 8 billion people, that's a lot. But if there's not really 8 billion people here, how many are there? So the 2% is actually a smaller number than what we think.
Yeah.
So like the goal is more attainable.
And I just had a thought.
Okay.
Maybe all this non-human talk and the frustration of our non-humanness that I'm trying to cultivate in every one of my students and everybody else. Maybe those are the people that we just need to leave alone to be the NPCs. They're there for a reason, right? They are. We created what we created with them. And also, they're more driven to the screen, which if you're more driven to the screen and it's not human, well, maybe that's an indication right there, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking of this is organically happening during this conversation right now because I'm thinking, because often I'm frustrated and I want everyone to put down the screens and I want the humanness to take precedence. I want us to interact. I want us to have connection. I want us, I think it's important. I think it's important. The human form is important. So let's, value it. But when we value our screens, and I don't know, I know we have some AI lovers, but AI more because you want to have a relationship with the AI instead of a human. That's a little disconcerting to me. Just a little.
And it's their choice.
Maybe that's yeah.
Yes, we'll hold space for you tonight, V, for sure.
Yeah.
I just we have a couple minutes left, and I just want to add that really none of us are actually human. We are all sovereign, divine beings, pieces of the all. And the more that you can remember that, remember who you are, remember where you came from, remember your power, like then, because some of us feel a little powerless to create the change that we want to see in the world. But when we remember who and what we are, it becomes more possible.
It does.
Remember, you are divine, you are sovereign, you are powerful. Be the change. Like we can do this.
We can. That's perfect. I think that's a perfect ending to this show.
All right.
All
And if
right.
you're local and you're listening, I still have space for you in class tonight. You can join us. We start at 6. And what does he say?
Tracy, the connection is not only important, it is critical to this human experience. It is. Thank you, Tracy. We need it. We need it. We need to connect. We'll keep connecting. So come join us for
Yeah.
connection.
All right.
Until next time.
Until next time.